Hello everyone and welcome to another custom figure showcase, and we have another couple of Dalek customs, but today we are looking at Daleks from the 14th Doctor's first adventure from the comic Liberation of the Daleks. Now this comic is a bit of an interesting one because almost, certainly issue to issue, but almost in some places panel to panel, the design and livery of the Daleks changes. Now there is sort of an implication as to why this happens in the episode, in the story, which I won't spoil for people, but obviously it meant that I had to sort of try and pick and choose a livery to go with, and I've actually ended up going for sort of a bit of a mix and match of sort of various design ideas that I liked from the story. So starting on the right with the standard drone, this is one of the drones, models of the drones that was actually recently released as part of one of the B&M sets that came with the black Dalek. Because I liked the sort of more gold. It was one of the more easier one to get hold of as well, more recently, more cheaply. And so what I've done for this is I've kept the gunmetal grey base, but I've given it a slight repaint to match the other gunmetal grey elements that I've added on this, which is obviously the detailing around the gun boxes and the neck rings. Because, like I said, these Daleks have a sort of interesting, sort of different look to them. But I actually really like it. I think it looks really, really good. And then the other thing that I've done as well is it's got blue dome lights, which is actually, I've cast these dome lights in blue resin, and then added on some detailing to them rather than painting them blue. Partly because painting the blue just didn't look quite right. I did give it a go. But also because I wanted to see if it could be done, and I was able to do it, so I did it. But I have to say, overall as well, obviously over the years since the Daleks came back, there's been a lot of, debate as to whether they should have an update or changes, and I think they are due for one. But I personally, I've never been a huge fan of classic series Daleks, new series Daleks in classic colour schemes, which I know is a very popular thing, but it's never really been a big thing for me. I don't really get the obsession with it, and if it's something that other people like, that's fine, each to their own, but it's not something that I've ever really been a huge fan of as an idea. But I actually really like this overall colour scheme, because it's sort of, it keeps the design the same. It reminds me very much of the grey Renegade Daleks of the classic series, in that the design didn't really change much, but the livery just subtly changed in places over the years. And I think that's what you could do with the Daleks now. I think just the simple thing like having slightly different coloured base, slightly different coloured detailing in places, and maybe some different dome-like colours really does make them look a bit different and look a bit sort of more unique in places. So I think if I actually had to go for a new series Dalek livery, I'd probably actually go for something like this rather than something that is a sort of direct copy of, say, something from the classic series. But also we have here the Supreme Dalek. Now this is a very, again, an interesting one because, again, panel to panel, it kind of changes in places. So I've gone for sort of something that sort of looks good from all the different aspects of the Supreme in question. Obviously, most notably, it's a much brighter red than the standard Supreme that we'd seen before, which was more sort of burgundy red. Because again, I really wanted it to stand out, and I really love the contrast between the red and the gold as well. Obviously, we've got fully gold base, which again appears in one of the panels. It actually just looks really good. It really makes the Supreme stand out and look that bit more important again. We have no gold band around the middle, and also the extra slats, or whatever you want to call them, also don't have any gold on them. They do in some of the panels, but again, some of them they don't, and I just think it looked a bit better without having that gold there. Just having the sort of quite blank midsection really makes it stand out from the other Supremes. And then on the neck rings, I've actually reversed the colouring. So normally the neck rings are gold and the support struts are red, but obviously on here I've gone for red rings and gold support struts. Again, just makes it look that bit different. And then again on the dome we have blue dome lights, which again are ones that I have cast up in resin. They weren't perfect, and there are some sort of little gaps and misshapen bits in places, but just generally speaking, they look the part. They look close enough to how it is. And then obviously I've added on all of the the little silver rivet detailing and things like that. I've added on as well, just to make it stand out and look a little bit better. But again, I have to say, as a sort of double pack Dalek idea, because obviously they have done some comic variants over the years. Most notably, they did the Children of the Revolution one with the Dalek Alpha. obviously I know a lot of people would like to have the standard Supreme re-released, and you know, I certainly would like to see it re-released. I know it would be a very popular one for figure collectors to want. But I think if Character Options could get the rights and sort out the sort of red tape, because it's not just as easy as get the rights, make the figure. I, you know, appreciate that. But if they could sort of get all of the admin, legal side of things done as a 2-pack idea, I think this would be an absolutely brilliant one to sell. I mean, hell, you know, at the moment people are really scrabbling to try and get hold of 14th Doctor figures again. Because obviously, you know, now we've seen the 14th Doctor, there's lots of sort of, you know, variants, and people want to make more customs and things like that, and they're getting quite difficult to get hold of. I'm sure we'll see more 14th Doctor single card releases and things like that, but I actually would love to see either as a Character Options exclusive, have this as a double pack, or put in the 14th Doctor, just a straight up re-release of the 14th Doctor, no changes or anything like that to him. Straight up re-release of the 14th Doctor and put him in this, and have a Character Options triple pack with 2 Daleks, the Supreme Dalek, the Drone, and the 14th Doctor. I think that would sell phenomenally well. You know, and I think it really would be one that people would love to see. And again, especially if you had it as a sort of... I'll tell you what would be good to see, and it would be appropriate, is that would be one of those ones that you could have it as a Character Options exclusive, but you could also have it as a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and it would make sense given that it's from a comic. Yes, it would be, you know, we've missed it for this year, so it would be one for next year, but I think it would be a nice one to see. And again, rather like the years past, you know, where we had so for example, I'm looking at them right now, they're right in front of me, the black and white first and second Doctors, and also they did the colour variant. You know, there was a straight up black and white re-release for the UK and a colour release for the UK, but then there was also a special release that had the San Diego Comic-Con logo on it, which was exactly the same figures. It really didn't have anything different. It had the San Diego Comic-Con, and it had I think it's got a gold, if memory serves. Let me just have a quick look without knocking it over. Yes, it does have a Comic-Con exclusive numbered sticker on the back. So you could actually have 2 versions of this. One that is on the CO website that is available to most people and things like that, and then you could have a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive version, which is exactly the same thing. There is nothing different about the figures. It is simply the packaging that's different. And I think that, again, would sell really well. And you know it would sell well, especially if it was at the Comic-Con one first, because, again, its value would go up over the years. And it would certainly be an interesting one. And I just, you know, and the bottom line is, I just think it would be an appropriate idea to do a comic-based set at Comic-Con. You know, that's just my thoughts on it. But again, yeah, you know, it would be a lovely thing to see. It would certainly be a great set, either just as these 2 Daleks and you have it as a B&M double pack, or a CO exclusive double pack. But if you really wanted to make it something special, you could chuck the 14th Doctor in there and you could have a really good triple pack on your hands there. But that brings to a close another custom figure showcase. As always, I hope you all enjoy this video. Like, favorite, subscribe, share, it really helps me a lot. And with the description below for a link to my Patreon. My figure animation is still coming. I'm hoping to do an update on it in the new year. But in the meantime, all of your donations are greatly received, and for the smallest donation you can get your name at the end of my videos. I salute you all, and I will see you in another video very soon.